Okay, so sitting in whatever's a comfortable position for you and generating motivation that for the benefit of all those that I meet, may I be able to generate the perfection of patience and completely abandon anger. And then just bring your attention to the breath, coming and going through your nostrils, slowing your breath a little. So patience is having an undisturbed mind, even while encountering the problems, even while being harmed by people. We need to be able to keep our peace of mind and not lose our love and compassion for them. Once the conditions for harmful intent, which are the familiarity with harming in the mind, the object being close, and wrong thoughts, once these are complete, then the harmful intent will come up in us, whether we want it to or not. At present, we're conditioned in a way to regard anger as something, a beneficial response sometimes. So therefore, we can have a willingness to become angry in certain situations. And to overcome this, we need to think deeply about the faults of becoming angry and the benefits of practicing patience. So the benefits of patience: if I have a cool stream of patience that pacifies the fires of anger, I won't suffer from losing my mental happiness. I'll have fewer enemies and less interference. I'll experience happiness in this life, and at the time of death, I'll die without regret. And the disadvantages of anger: there's no negative emotion as destructive as anger. One instant of anger has many negative results. Not only does it create negative karma that will ripen as suffering, it destroys the positive states of mind already generated and prevents them from returning. There are some aspects of anger I can see. When my mind is poisoned by anger, I cannot experience peace. Existing joy and happiness are destroyed and are difficult to regain. The mental stability arising from the practice of seeing all beings as equal is destroyed. Anger robs me of my sleep and harms my health. Having a stressed and unhappy mind is one of the main conditions for anger to arise. If I can do something about my problem, there's no benefit to getting upset. If there's nothing I can do about my problem, there's also no point to getting upset. So one way to look at patience is it's about not letting yourself be affected by harm. So some people, when they're harmed, are able to think this poor person is under the control of the demon of anger. I should not get angry. Rather, I should feel compassion because this person is suffering. I should help this person, not harm them. Someone under the control of anger is like a person under the influence of alcohol. They have no control over their actions. Once the conditions for harm are complete in their mind, it will arise whether they want it to or not. and they're compelled to engage in a harmful action that inflicts suffering on others. So recall a time when someone said something disagreeable or insulting to you, and look at whatever harm was actually received. What was the harm? How were you harmed? Aren't the insulting words merely sounds travelling from the mouth of the other person into your ear and then registering in my mind? So there's no physical harm being received. And then what happens in our minds, this is the one thing that's under our influence. This is something we can decide. So this being didn't harm me in a way that I can't use that to develop my patience. So there's no basis for the anger. The only thing that can really harm me is my own anger. For some people, when someone says things that are harmful, they see this as a blessing, an opportunity to practice patience. If I only see the negative side of people who cause me difficulties, I'll be overwhelmed. I must find the beneficial side of experiencing problems. Working towards seeing problems and hardships as being kind, because they teach us to avoid non-virtue if we want to avoid the experience of suffering in the future, and to practice virtue if we want to experience happiness. These problems and hardships also teach us about the suffering of others. This is the one benefit about suffering, is that we can have compassion for others that suffer. And we can think that in the same way as I put up with suffering to cure a disease, having injections, operations, whatever it might be, I put up with the suffering of those because I want the benefit of being free of disease. In the same way, I'm going to deal patiently with problems to cure the disease of anger and the imprints of it, of being angry. This creates karmic seeds and imprints in our mind. And patience is the way to prevent any more of those coming. So dedicate all the positive energy you've put into this class by doing the meditations, listening in your mind, working with your mind, seeing how you might apply these in your life. Dedicate all of this to be able to develop perfect patience in ourselves and in our relationships with all other living beings. And then when you're ready, just slowly open your eyes.